You were born free. But somewhere along the way, you became a prisoner. Not behind bars, but behind expectations. You chase likes, money, validation, all while ignoring your own mind. You scroll endlessly, obey your impulses, and seek approval from people who wouldn't notice if you disappeared tomorrow. That's not freedom. That's slavery, mental, emotional, and spiritual. But what if I told you a man who lived nearly 2,000 years ago predicted this perfectly? His name was Epictetus, born a literal slave in ancient Rome. He became one of the most powerful minds in Stoic philosophy. His words still echo today. Asterisk, no man is free who is not master of himself. Asterisk, if you feel stuck, controlled, or lost, this video might be the wake-up call you didn't know you needed. Let's dig deep into why you're living like a slave, and how Stoicism can set you free. Epictetus wasn't a general, a king, or a billionaire. He was born in chains, and yet he understood freedom better than most people ever will. Why? Because he realized something crucial. Freedom has nothing to do with external circumstances, and everything to do with your mind. He watched people with gold and power act like beggars for status. He saw emperors crushed by their own desires. Meanwhile, he, a slave, found peace in his thoughts. He found power not in possessions, but in self-control. Today, we live in a world that promises us freedom, but in reality, we are shackled to our screens, to our addictions, to our fears. We chase status symbols, compulsively compare ourselves to others, and trade our time for things that don't matter. Modern slavery doesn't come with whips or chains. It comes in the form of a soul disconnected from purpose, a life lived on autopilot. And the worst part, most people don't even realize they're trapped. In this video, we'll break down exactly how you've been programmed to live like a slave, what Epictetus would say about it, and most importantly, how you can reclaim your inner freedom. Because until you free your mind, until you learn to master your emotions, desires, and actions, you will always be living under someone else's rule. Let's start with the first and most dangerous form of modern slavery. Slavery to desire. You want things, and there's nothing wrong with that. But Epictetus warned us, it's not desire itself that enslaves you, it's being ruled by it. Ask yourself, how many of your daily choices are driven by impulse rather than intention? You scroll TikTok not because you want to, but because your brain has been trained to chase dopamine hits. You buy things you can't afford, not because you need them, but because you want to feel something. You eat when you're not hungry, binge when you're bored, and chase relationships that fill emotional voids. Desire is useful, but only when you're in control. When you lose that control, desire becomes your master. Epictetus said, asterisk, freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control. Asterisk. But modern society doesn't want you free. It wants you addicted, because addicted people are predictable, and predictable people are profitable. When you're driven by unchecked desire, you lose yourself. You live like a slave to your lower self, the version of you that only wants comfort, pleasure, and escape. The solution isn't to kill desire. It's to put it in its proper place. Want money? Fine. But don't crave it so deeply that you compromise your values. Want love? Beautiful. But don't chase it so desperately that you lose your self-respect. Want comfort? Sure. But not at the cost of growth. Freedom starts when you stop letting every itch dictate your movement. When you pause, reflect, and say, asterisk, no, I'm not going to chase that right now. I choose something better. Asterisk. The strongest man is not the one with the biggest army, but the one who can say no to his own weakness. Slavery to public opinion. You check your phone. 10 likes. 1 new comment. It makes you feel good for a minute. Then the emptiness returns. Why? Because you're living for others, not for yourself. Epictetus would look at our obsession with social validation and say, Asterisk, you are disturbed not by things, but by the view you take of them. Asterisk, you let other people's opinions define your worth. You let their judgment shape your actions. That's not freedom. That's emotional slavery. Imagine a man in a cage. He can't move without permission. Now imagine a man who can go anywhere, but won't take a step unless he knows it'll be applauded. Who's really free? Most people live in a psychological cage built from fear of judgment. They act, speak, and even dream based on what others will think. They wear masks. They filter reality. They shrink to fit into spaces they were never meant to occupy. And worst of all, they call it normal. Epictetus teaches us that true freedom is internal. It's not about being liked, followed, or admired. It's about being aligned, knowing what you value, and living by it, no matter the noise. People will always have opinions. They'll praise you, criticize you, ignore you. None of that matters. What matters is how you see yourself, what principles you stand on, what truths you refuse to compromise, even when it's unpopular. You can't live like a lion if you're constantly begging sheep for approval. So here's the challenge. Start being more concerned with respecting yourself than being liked by others. Make decisions your future self will be proud of, not just your current crowd. Because the day you stop caring what others think is the day you truly begin to live. Slavery to comfort. It's easy to do what feels good. It's harder to do what's right. That's why most people trade their freedom for comfort. It's warm. It's safe. It's predictable. But it's also a prison. You were born to grow, not to coast. Epictetus said, Asterisk, difficulties show men what they are. Asterisk, in other words, challenge reveals character. But our modern world makes challenge optional. You can skip discomfort. You can avoid hard conversations, ignore discipline, dodge responsibility. But in doing so, you also avoid becoming who you could be. Every time you choose the path of least resistance, you build walls around your potential. Comfort is not your friend. It's a seductive captor. It whispers, asterisk, stay in bed. Asterisk, asterisk, scroll a little more. Asterisk, asterisk, do it tomorrow. Asterisk. And every time you obey, you shrink. The Stoics didn't seek pain for its own sake, but they embraced discomfort as training for the soul. They knew that suffering builds resilience and challenge reveals truth. If you want to be free, start doing hard things on purpose. Asterisk, wake up early. Asterisk, say no to temptations. Asterisk, speak truth when it's easier to stay silent. Asterisk, push yourself when your mind screams for ease. Because with every act of voluntary hardship, you remind yourself, I am in control. Epictetus didn't complain about being born a slave. He used it as his classroom. He turned suffering into strength. And so can you. The world will try to make you soft, but softness breeds dependence, and dependence is the enemy of freedom. So ask yourself, where are you choosing comfort over character? Where are you hiding from difficulty when you should be facing it head-on? Because the only way out is through. Slavery to time. What's your most valuable asset? It's not money, not status, not even talent. It's time, and how you use it. You were born with a limited amount of time. Every second you spend is a second you'll never get back. And yet, you waste it. You procrastinate. You overthink. You spend hours on meaningless distractions, giving your life away in small, invisible pieces. That's not living. That's dying in slow motion. Epictetus said, asterisk, how long are you going to wait before you demand the best for yourself? Asterisk, you keep saying someday. Someday you'll start the business, write the book, get fit, live intentionally. But that day never comes, because you haven't made now a priority. When you don't own your time, someone else will. Your boss, your phone, your habits. You were not meant to be a slave to schedules you didn't choose. But to break free, you have to take time seriously. Start small. Asterisk, cut out time wasters. Asterisk, plan your day with purpose. Asterisk, give your best hours to your highest goals. Asterisk, protect your focus like your life depends on it. Because it does. Time doesn't come back. Regret, however, does. It haunts the man who knew he could have done more but didn't. Don't let comfort or fear steal your most precious currency. Freedom is not just about doing what you want. It's about doing what matters, while you still can. How to reclaim your freedom. Epictetus' Stoic rules. So, how do you escape this invisible slavery? Epictetus gave us the blueprint. His teachings aren't just ideas. They're battle-tested mental weapons for a distracted, weakened, modern world. Here are 5 Stoic principles to help you break the chains. Number 1. Control the controllable. Ignore the rest. The core of Stoicism is simple. Control what you can. Let go of what you can't. Your thoughts? Yours to master. Your actions? Always within your reach. Other people's opinions, outcomes, or the past? Out of your hands. Focus your energy where it counts. That's power. That's peace. Number 2. Practice voluntary hardship. Don't wait for life to hit you. Train yourself. Take cold showers. Skip meals. Say no to comforts. Wake up earlier than you want to. Why? Because suffering in small doses builds strength. And when real hardship comes, you won't fold. Number 3. Live by values, not feelings. Feelings are weather. They change. But values? They are your internal compass. If you only act when you feel motivated, you'll fail. Instead, act based on principles. Asterisk, do what's right, even when it's hard. Asterisk, speak truth, even when it's risky. Asterisk, stay disciplined, especially when it's inconvenient. That's freedom, not being ruled by emotion. Number 4. Audit your attachments. Epictetus warned, asterisk, you are not your possessions, your relationships, or your reputation. Asterisk, if your identity depends on these things, you're not free. You're fragile. Detach. Love fully, but accept loss. Work hard, but stay humble. Own things, but don't let them own you. Freedom is inner stability, no matter what life takes away. Number 5. Meditate on mortality. Memento mori. Remember, you must die. Not to be morbid, but to wake up. You don't have forever. Every day is a chance to live deliberately. To choose discipline over distraction. Purpose over passivity. The clock is ticking. Use it well. You were born free, but you've been conditioned to live like a slave. To desire, to fear, to comfort, to distraction. But you can break the chains. Epictetus did, and he started in a real prison. You just have to face the one in your mind. Remember his words. Asterisk, no man is free who is not master of himself. Asterisk, so start mastering yourself. One choice, one habit, one mindset at a time. This isn't about being perfect. It's about being powerful. In the Stoic sense. Calm, grounded, unshakable. Because in a world that wants you dependent, distracted, and soft, becoming mentally free is the ultimate rebellion. If this message hit home, like the video, subscribe for more Stoic wisdom, and drop a comment below. I choose freedom. Now go. Live like Epictetus. Live like you were meant to, free. Would you like a version of this script with scene directions, voiceover